It's approaching 2 p.m. on Friday, the 7th day of April 2017, 4/7/2017, and we are across the road from St. Mary's, the back entrance of St. Mary's, former St. Mary's Academy. There are several areas couple areas in the village of Champlain that I would consider to be gullies. This is one of them. It's flowing from the south and heading north, and it crosses here on Pine Street. And when I was a youngster going to St. Mary's in the 1950s, before the athletic field was put in, that gully came across the road here, where we've seen this storm drain, and continued and the slope down onto Route 9 and into the river, which is across from Route 9 in that direction. But when they put in the athletic field in the very late 1950s, around 1960 or so, they used the hill that was between the school and the church, where the athletic field was put in. They used the material from there to help fill in this area. And it's been pretty much flood free. There's a drainage that goes from here all the way over to the river. And the only times there's been problems is when the outlet by the river gets underwater because of the height of the river. So there has been a couple of backups in this area, but that's very, very seldom. And they would have occurred whether this was filled in or not. We're now on River Street, and we're looking across to Main Street, Route 9. There's where the school used to be. The Champlain Telephone Company is right about there. And here's that drain that comes in from the Pine Street area and enters in here. And as you can see, at the bottom of it is at the height of the river right now. And if the river were about 4 feet higher, it would have trouble flowing into here. The river is kind of high at the moment because of the heavy rains we've had. We had 2.5 feet of snow that's melted within the last couple of days. So within the last week or so, that snow was melted. The snow came in about 3 weeks ago. Well, the river's a little high, but there's no problem as far as that drain goes. We're looking at that drain because we're about to go look at an area where we're not familiar with any flooding having occurred in the past. We have now moved to Elm Street, and this is the former Filion farm, now owned by Kevin Triller. That direction is the Kimpex Susi building, long known as the Sheridan Company, Harris Graphics. That's just up the road across from those white houses. Over here is the Sorrel Horse Farm. Formerly, when I was working at Sheridan in my growing up years, that was the Bert Gooley Farm. And there's Marilyn Daly, who grew up as Marilyn Gooley and has lived in this area for a good portion of her life. Right now she's kind of flooded. We see sand piled up around her driveway. We see sand here blocking the road here on Elm Street. It's, of course, when I was growing up in the 50s and into the 60s. This was Route 11 that came through here. Now it's just known as Elm Street, but before the area road was rerouted, where it goes by now and crosses Route 9 by the shopping center, this was busy Route 11. And this is the gully that we're looking at for the past several years. Kevin Triller has been trying diligently to fill up this gully. He's got permission from the environmental state agencies that he needs to do this. We've been working hard to fill up this gully, and from my understanding, and I'm not going to say I'm 100% accurate on this, but from reading old McClellan papers, that a lot of the gully that was made here was done when there were brickworks being done here, and out toward the, all the way through here. This gully goes all the way out to Route 11. We see that tractor trailer just went through. Where Garsold's Auto Sales is located now. That gully goes all the way through there. But from what we've been told and read in the paper today, beavers have been busy and they've kind of dammed up the culvert that goes underneath here. And when we relocate, drive around and come back and get over on that side of the flooding, we'll see the outlet over there, but they've dammed it up. And the water that's been running off from the nearby area, and you wouldn't think there'd be that much drainage here, but it probably drains down from northeastern Clinton, which is up that way, and comes down here. It's been backed up, and this is the first time in my soon-to-be 70 years that I can recall something like this happening here. I'm 5 days away from my 70th birthday, so I've been here in town for a little while. And we see that water flowing here. It's got nowhere to go. They got the pump there, pumping as much as they can. And that looks like about a 6-inch line. And the overflow is coming here, and so far it's being turned and heading back into the gully and flowing out toward the Great Chazy River. We did drive into Kevin Triller's home area, but there's nobody around, so we were unable to talk to him. We're now on East Street, and this is where the water that goes from the Triller property crosses over and runs here along parallel to Route 11. As you can see, there's some lower area there across the road from here, and it drains here into the Great Chazy River. We've now moved down. The Denimora Credit Union is there. Kevin Trombley's auto sales and repair shop is there. And we're here. We're going to talk loud. This was, I'm guessing, at least 20 feet deep here. A lot of fill's been brought in here in the last few years by Kevin Triller, trying to reclaim this property. And apparently the dam is right below here. As you can see, the water is backing up here, going across the road over by Marilyn Daly's house. And this is what the other side looks like. We got more water coming from that overflow area than what looks like what's coming out of the culvert down here. As you can see, it's a huge culvert. The water splashing over here is from the pump. And this is supposed to be carried on over, and again it goes out where we saw by Route 11 and drains into the Great Chazy. We first became aware of this 2 days ago in a posting on Facebook from one of the credit union employees, and then it was in the newspaper today, or There's going to be, I guess, other news media will be covering this also. So we want to make sure we cover this. And hopefully they'll be able to get rid of that Beaver dam that's blocking the culvert, and this won't be a problem in the upcoming years. So that's it, April 7th, 2017, from Elm Street in Champlain, across from the Kevin Triller property. And for the moment, things are flowing, and hopefully they'll keep flowing, and the flooding hopefully the flooding has already reached its peak.